welcome back to this week's tutorial, which is an introduction to editing. So you should have watched the introduction to the interface, and now you're going to look at editing together this horror scene. So we're going to start off, if you follow this script, which should be on Moodle, we're going to start off interior warehouse night, and we see down a dark hallway and Becky's head pops up against the wall on the right hand side of the frame and she's panting. So that's the shot that we need. So I'm assuming it's this shot here. We'll just watch it through. I used the scrubbing on my keypad, so that's, if you click S you can see this red line appear, and we can see that this is the right shot. She pops up here and then she runs out of screen. So we're going to start off here. I'm going to click my mouse down so that we get this point. I'm going to take scrubbing off now by clicking S on the keypad. And just after this point I'm going to put an in point. So the in point tells you where you want your edit to start. So if you click I on your keypad, so we can hear him say action, so we don't want that, so I'm going to click I again. And you can see this yellow box moves as we do that. Okay, so we don't want all this, so I'm going to skip ahead slightly before this next take. So if we go to the point, so I'm skipping ahead by clicking the right arrow on the keypad. I'm just going quite slowly here, but we'll just go a little bit further along there. So we want to go from this point really. And you can see sometimes you need to watch your footage through a few times to get the right point. So as we can see here, we've got this nice clear view of the hallway as described in this script here. And we're going to see her head pop up against the wall. So we need to click I at this point because this is the right point. And then she runs off and he follows her like that. So if you click O, and that should create your edit there. So we've got a kind of a basic scene here. So this is how the whole scene is going to work. And we're going to edit around this from different angles. So we do need to spend some time syncing up these angles. By the way, you click and drag to put your footage on the timeline. So the next shot then, maybe we can see her from a different perspective. So we've got this scene here, which is the same scene. Okay, so you've got this scene here, you've got these scenes here as well up the top. So anything that says SC01 and the different cameras. Yeah. So that's a separate scene, this one. So we've got scene 1 there, and you can see down here somewhere scene 1 as well. So let's start off with this and sync this up. So we can see he comes into the shot here and then she jumps up. Okay, so that's what we need to take from here. So again, we're going to go from the last take. So if you go right to the end, and you're going to have to kind of use scrubbing again. So if you use S, we can see he's walking out of shot there, so we need to go back a little. And we're getting his kind of look around here. Now they've kind of taken this angle back here from a little bit further, so we've got a nice choice here. I might go for this one at the beginning here. Looks a little bit odd at the moment, but we'll go for that. So again, clicking O for out and I for in. So out point there where the yellow bar stops, and I will create an in point. I think if we sync this up to kind of this bit where he's looking round, we're not going to get a head in shot, but you can see there's too much here, so okay. I'm going to delete that from my timeline for a moment. So if I click S for scrubbing, and we'll go back to this point here where he just comes in again, because actually on here he does come into shot. So we'll do it there where he pauses, and I'm going to click out there because that's quite a nice point to sync up to. So if you go up to here, and you can see he pauses around about there. So now we need to drag this down, and if we trim the beginning by just clicking and dragging on the beginning and position this where you want it, again I'm going to click and drag, and you position in this so that it lines up with this line here. So you should be able to see kind of a smooth cut now between, you should be able to see that. So we can see pauses a little bit further along now because we've trimmed it. Kind of smooth. Now it's a bit of a quick shot at the moment, so I'm going to kind of extend it out by dragging out the end again. And don't worry too much about sound at the moment. Okay, again we might want to get him walking into shot a little bit more. And he pauses around about there, so that probably work a bit better. Okay, some of editing, as you can see, is a bit of trial and error, so you do need to experiment a little bit. So that's quite nicely synced up now. So, if we go back to camera 1 here, we'll go back to that last shot that we had. And as I say, we've got some nice different angles. So camera B is what you need. You can see we've got this angle here, which is kind of blurry. So we might not want to use that, but we'll remember it's there for later on, and if you want to cut that in you can. This bit's quite nice. So as I say, you know, have a little bit of a play syncing up those shots. So that's the first bit you need to do. Again, you've got another angle here that you can play with. So you've got this angle here where she comes in, and you can see her rather dramatic expression. So if we go back a little from where her head comes around the corner, and again I'm just using left and right arrows on my keypad. And again we can trim this down a little so that when her head turns around the corner we get her head on the other side. Now she has this dramatic reaction back here, so if you can see in this shot here she's actually looking at him as he turns around, so we need this reaction to be quite quick. So if you drag in, trim in the edge till we get to that reaction. And we want to kind of see a little glimpse of that there, so takes a little bit of practice. Okay, now that we've kind of got it in place, we can kind of drag it out a little bit more, and I think actually we want to see from this angle, so quite hard because they're filming this bit out of sync. Okay, you kind of get the impression anyway. So have a little go at just syncing this up and play around with this scene. You need to use these scene 1 so that it matches this script here. And if you want to use the blade tool whilst you're on the timeline here, you can also use that. So that's this blade tool here. Or you can click B on your keypad as well. You just move that along the shot and then click where you want to make a cut. And then if you click the A on the keypad, that will select your selection tool. You just back shift or delete. So just click delete to get rid of that. Okay, so you can see we've kind of made a small edit here. And okay, this scene isn't perfect, but you've got lots of different shots you can play around with, lots of different footage here. And by all means, download some music as well. We've got some sound effects here. Let's try this one. Not quite pacey enough, but I'll let you find the music you need for this.